Friends and family, what's going on? It is Lord Badu, and I got my wonderful wife here with me today. And listen, today we're going to talk about something very interesting. Um, we're going to talk about sacrificing specifically in marriage. I know it's going to be a good conversation today because my wife is sacrificing right now. As a matter of fact, she didn't want to be here. But hey, she's here. So what we gonna do? We gonna do. So we're gonna have a good time and we're gonna have a great conversation. What about sacrifice is so important in marriage?
Mm, I believe that you have to sacrifice in marriage because you're dealing with two different people that comes from two different backgrounds, and it's not always going to coincide, but it's going to clash sometimes. So sometimes a person is going to have to sacrifice the thing that they like. They're going to have to sacrifice the way that they are a little bit to accommodate for the other person. I know my dad says that in a marriage, there has to be one smart person and there has to be one fool.
Hmm.
So,
Who's the fool in our marriage? Let's not go there.
want to go there?
Interesting. There has to be one smart person and there has to be one fool. And that's an interesting take. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that though.
Yeah, because someone had to say, you know what, I'm going to bow out. I'm gonna let this one slide, or I'm going to accommodate this person's way of doing certain type of things or whatever. So
But how long can you accommodate for?
I think you can accommodate to the point where you change, because when a marriage, you kind of grow with each other, and certain thing that you used to do, it changes, right? So
One thing I'll say is that, you're somebody who sacrifices their what I would want to do, right? And you would hop in as if you care.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's good because like the other day, I made a song, right? I'm like, yo, Phoebe, listen to this. And she's just there listening to it, listening to it, listening to it. And then I'm like, this girl doesn't care about this song. But she was acting like she cared. She was acting like she cared, but I know deep down you probably didn't care. But because it mattered to me,
yeah.
you wanted it to matter to you.
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't care too much for the song, but I listened to it and I provided feedback the way that he wanted the feedback. But deep down inside of me, I'm like, I can care less. But that's where you sacrifice the things. I was in my head, I'm like, I'm listening to the song, I'm like, I don't care. But then I'm looking at his face and I can see how excited he is about the song. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me just try to be involved or try to accommodate myself to make him happy.
But
But
isn't
it should be
that
reciprocated though at the same
but isn't that
time.
like isn't that like lying?
No, not really. You have to intentionally want to be involved.
Hmm.
You may not care at the like on a day to day. You may not care, but like you have to intentionally say, okay, you know what? In this marriage, I'm going to try to do things that will make my partner happy. I'm going to try to do things that will, please my husband or whatnot. Even if it's something that you wouldn't do for yourself or on a day to day, it's trying to make your partner happy, and I think that should be both ways because sometimes you're in a relationship and one person is trying so hard
Mm.
every day to put in that effort to sacrifice things that where they want to go or how they want to spend their money or whatever like that, but the other person is always just receiving, receiving, receiving. But I think both has to sacrifice um, the things that is different for them.
That's deep because one thing I heard was that if you put 50-50 in a marriage, the marriage will probably fail.
Yeah.
But if you put 100 into the marriage, then the marriage would most likely succeed. And I see that a lot of people are saying that, oh, I'm putting 50, you're putting 50, that makes it 100. But no, it's actually supposed to be 100 and 100. And
Yeah.
when the two people put in their best, then that's where the marriage becomes its best.
But then when you realistically, that's how it should be. But then when you see your partner not putting in any work, for example, it can turn you off when trying to putting on work. Like if your partner's not trying to get to know you, helping you in any sort of way, or even encouraging you in any sort of way, it's just like, what's the point? And then you become two like walking zombies where you're just coexisting, but you're not actually growing together.
So that's where the roommate like situation comes in.
Yeah, I believe there's a lot of marriages that are like they're just roommates.
They're roommates, yeah, absolutely.
Same
But that's the biggest danger, because when you're just roommates, you're just living together. It's like, okay, I'll pass you, like you're watching Netflix.
Yeah, everyone's doing their own different.
I'm in my room, type of thing. But when you're a marriage, the two become one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The two. I hope they didn't hear that. Sorry. The two become one, right? and that's very crucial because, in this generation, I always say this. I think that marriage is under attack.
Yeah.
Marriage is under attack because marriage is one of the most important institutions that God put here, because the family is what makes the church.
Yeah.
Right? The father, the mother. And like one thing I'm seeing too is that the society is trying to destroy what the nuclear family looks like. So instead of dad, mom, children, it's like dad, children, mom, children, or mom, children, or dad, children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're trying to find different ways to destroy what God intended the family to look like. And it's been working. It's been working, especially in this side of the world. It's been working, right? But I believe that, when it comes to marriage, sacrifice is crucial. And the reason that we sacrifice is because of the one who sacrificed for us.
100%.
Right? When we go, we're Christians here, so we got to always go to the Bible. See, when we look at the life of Christ and how he sacrificed his life for us, that's what we're supposed to resemble as believers.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was willing to give his all for us, right? In a marriage, we must also be willing to give our all to our partner, our spouse.
I agree.
Yeah. And this scripture, where Christ said that love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave his life up for her. It's funny you're looking at my face because we had this interesting conversation this morning. As Christ loved the church and gave his life up for her. That means that you must be willing to die for your bride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
Yes.
As I was saying, your bride should be the number one. Not external things should be number one.
Absolutely. 100%.
So you have to categorize certain things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people come in categories.
That's fine.
Yeah. The whole world had no idea what the heck we're talking about, but we do, so.
Nah, it's true, though. It's true.
Yeah.
No, like, when we talk about sacrificing your life, I believe, as a man of God, I believe that the husband should be willing to die for his bride. Mm-hmm. Right? Willing to die.
I'm not talking, I don't think that, we're not talking about dying. We're not obviously physical death, sure. But, like, I believe that you're putting her first.
Yeah.
If you're willing to die for something, you're willing to put it first.
Make it a priority.
Yeah. So your wife has to be the first in your life, because it also says, leave and cleave. Leave and cleave. You'll leave your father and mother and you'll cling to your wife.
Sorry, guys. So I know they have no idea why we're laughing, but it's okay. Don't worry. Just enjoy the conversation.
You have to leave and cleave. So everything that you were clinging to once before, you're leaving that and you're clinging on to your wife. So she becomes the priority. Even the kids are not even the priorities. The in-laws are not a priority.
See, that's powerful. But that's not only for the men.
Of course, it's for the woman.
also
It's
for the
hard.
woman.
Yeah,
It's
but yeah,
harder for the
it's harder
woman.
for the woman. It's
Why?
like, so I have a question. If, let's say, I make food and I have to serve everybody,
Yeah.
and I have your food and the kids' food, who should I serve
You
first?
serve your husband.
I should serve my husband.
Yes. 100%.
Okay. Now we have children who are 5, 4, and 2.
Okay.
They can't get their food.
Okay.
But you can get your food.
No, listen.
So do you
no.
see why there's the difficulty for sometimes women putting their husbands first? Ultimately, I know you are supposed to.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to express the difficulty of why it is, because
100% it's difficult to do that. But if we're talking about just service, like, hey, here's your food, you should give your husband his food first. Because he's priority, right?
Okay, I have to make 2 types of food. I have to make rice and I have to make fufu or something. Who am I making food for first?
Your husband.
So you should eat and be satisfied.
No.
While the children who are not able to go and cook on a stove.
See, that's what I'm trying to say.
Say what?
You're trying to make me look bad on YouTube. See, listen, it's not about that. I'm saying that your husband should be top priority. And you guys should have understanding together that, okay, the kids are there and they can't help themselves. So obviously if there's no communication and if the marriage is like, guys, you gotta listen to me. If the marriage is like, like the wife and the husband aren't like getting along and all that stuff, and then you serve your kids before the husband, you're gonna be like, yeah, of course, my wife doesn't respect me, right? But if there's communication in the marriage, conversation,
I don't even think that should be communication. I feel like that should just be common sense to me.
That should be common sense.
I'm serving the kids because the kids can't get their own food.
That's not common sense to everybody. You gotta remember, we come from an African culture.
That should be common sense.
Huh? It should be common sense, but it's not. There's a lot of things in this world that should be common sense, but it's not.
Well,
right? So the American that's watching this right now is gonna be like, why are these guys even arguing about this? That's not a conversation. Of course the children should eat first. But an African man that's watching me right now will be like, these new age children, they don't respect it. They don't know how marriage works. Right? That's what I'm saying. Different cultures do different things. And we happen to be in the middle of 2 cultures. Right? And then on top of that, we're Christians. Yeah. So now what does the Bible say to do? But I believe that obviously, as adults, you should understand that kids need to eat. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, like, that shouldn't be a fight. It shouldn't be a problem.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
I did watch a YouTube video that was a fight, though. Like, why it was the wife serving the kids first. And I was very confused.
Black people?
Yeah.
Of course. African?
I don't remember.
But it shouldn't be a problem. But, some people make it weird. Hey family, I really appreciate you guys spending the time and going through our video and just listening to what we have to say. Please, if you love it, like, share, subscribe, send it to somebody, let somebody hear of what true love is, which is sacrificial love. I really appreciate you once again, and God richly bless you. See you on the next video.